Hey everyone, you're joining me at home in my studio with Bennett. He's going to be our helper today as we talk about photographing your objects for your Unit 2 drawing project. So Bennett is hard at work. So I'm here in my studio at home and I'm going to go over a few things you need to know about choosing your object and photographing it. So normally for this unit, we choose objects to draw that represent something about us and we bring it into class to draw, right, buddy? So for this year, since we're in a little bit of a different circumstance, we're going to have the option to bring your object in. Otherwise, you're going to also have a photograph of it. So it's important that everyone has photographs of the object that you choose. So we want to remember to choose an object that represents something about you. You want to be very happy with the object you choose, otherwise you're not going to be interested in working on this project. So we want to put some thought into what it represents about you and think about why you're drawing this. Is it something that you want to hang up in your home? So is that the reason you're picking the object that you are? Is it something you could gift to someone? And think about, how that object works with your style. So we're all going to be required to photograph. So what I've done is I've chosen a few objects from my home, and I'm going to show you how I would photograph them. And then you're going to be doing this at home yourself too. So we're going to say goodbye to Bennett for now. I think he's fallen asleep already. And what we're going to do is take a look at the objects that I have. All right, so in front of me I have a few things picked out. I have a shoe, a book, a controller, a skull that's from an animal, and a necklace and a plant. So what I'm going to do is use this space here to photograph my work. So what I did is I laid down a piece of gray mat board. So if you have something at home that you can lay down, like a sheet or a large piece of paper, even like if it's a large jacket, and you can lay that down as a backdrop, that might help your photo. Another thing is I made sure that I have the light on in the room, and I have this lamp here. So this lamp allows me to adjust it, so I can bring this down here so that my table space gets brighter, or move that light around. So I'm just going to keep that up high so that I have my area well lit. You do not want dark photographs for this project. If you can't get good lighting in a room, you want to place like a table or some sort of surface near a window. So if there was a window behind my table here, that would be great for lighting. So what I'm going to do is start to think about how I'm positioning my object. So I'm going to start with my skull here. And I'm going to take one photo of my skull from the top down. All right, so when I take this picture, I want to make sure it's focused. It's up close, right? So I can really see my object. It's not super tiny. And I'm getting as close as I can, fitting the whole shape into the picture, and it's well lit. Now, as I start to take pictures from other sides, we want to talk about the object you're choosing and is it reasonable for your drawing. So if I'm looking at this very detailed skull and I took a picture of it like, let me focus this, like this, am I capable of drawing all of that detail? Now for your project, you're going to be able to choose what details you're keeping and what details you are not going to include. So if there are super detailed areas, you could choose not to include those in your work, and that would be okay. All right, so this could be another picture that I take. There are some shadows below the skull, but I think that lighting is just fine. I can still see everything. I want to take pictures from the front, right? And then maybe even a picture from the back or at a different angle. And then I'm going to get to choose which photos I actually use for this project. But if I can't bring this into school with me, then I want to make sure I'm getting every angle in my photographs. All right, so let's try a different object. What if I'm working with something smaller, like a necklace or some sort of piece of jewelry, if that's sentimental to you? So you'd want to think about the fact that we are drawing this large, so you might have to include the chain in your picture. So for example, like I could play around with the way that the necklace is set up and how the chain either has like space inside. Maybe those lines are kind of wavy. Or maybe it curves to the side here. And I could take pictures of it that way. You might also be able to hold it and take pictures, but we want to make sure if you're drawing a small object that we get nice and close so we can see everything as we work in class. I have a shoe here. Maybe this shoe represents something special about me. If I always wear a certain type of shoe, or if I want to talk about like the places I've been when I'm wearing my shoe, what I'm going to start to do is arrange it, right? I'm playing around with the shoestrings. This is going to go off the camera page or not. You know, I'd want a picture straight from the top down, making sure I'm nice and close from the sides. So I want you to think about where like the strings would be hanging. And if I want to see an area clearly, I want to make sure that string is not in the way. So again, there's a lot of different angles here. Some objects might be a little bit more challenging. So like, for example, a book. Okay, it looks very flat. I could take a picture at this angle, but again, we are thinking about drawing three-dimensional objects. So I would probably want to include a picture from its side, right, holding it nice and steady, make sure it's in focus and everything is visible. I could also prop it up and have the pages open, maybe turning things so that I can see them a little bit better, or even holding it. So if I wanted to hold it and take a picture of it as well. More organic shapes are going to be more challenging. So this plant looks different, or the ways that the leaves move look different based on where I'm looking at the plant, right? Or if it's like the top down. So you want to try and take as many pictures of the different angles as you can so that you can choose from all of those different options. All right, my last one here is this game controller. This would be a great one to take from the top down for sure. And then I could try at different angles as well if I want to include the cord or not. So when you're taking your photos, again, it's important to think about lighting. We want to be up close. We want to focus our camera. And we want to make sure we take pictures of the three-dimensional object, turning it beyond all its sides. If you are doing more than one object, you'll need more photos, and then these photos will be used in class. Then again, you have the option to bring your object into class as well, but everyone will be taking photos of their object. So good luck being a photographer.